Hey there again, welcome back to Road to Data Engineer. This is going to be episode 18. So we're going to continue to work through the Boot.Dev terminals and shells course. I actually did a little bit since the last episode before work today. And what I went over was just deleting files, renaming files, moving files. So nothing too crazy, just a little bit. I actually had some permissions issues with the Linux shell, so that kind of slowed me down through getting through some of the sections. So anyways, we're just going to pick up where I left off, and let's get going. Okay. The copy command does what you would expect. It copies a file from one location to another. You can also copy a directory and all of its contents recursively by adding the R flag. So to copy one file from one location to another, cp file name.txt target directory. Yep. To copy a directory and all its contents recursively, add the R flag. So cp directory name to new directory. And where did the R flag go? Oh, interesting. Directory name. At the beginning of the string. Ooh. Okay. Take a look inside the World Bank private transactions directory. Okay, we're already in there. Transactions. Yep. You should see a file containing transactions from different years. Let's run the contents. Yep. Next, look inside the backups directory inside of transactions. CD backups. So 2020 to 2023. Obviously, there's one missing. Copy the missing file from the transactions directory into the backups directory. So there is a backup of all the transactions. Finally, ls the contents of the backups directory and paste the output into the input field and submit. Okay. So we're missing 2020. So I want to do cp. Let's list the files again. So cp 2020.csv to backups. Yep. Nice. That's sick. Well. So copy that. Paste, submit. In a Unix-like operating system, a user's home directory is the directory where the personal files are stored. It is also the directory that a user starts in when logging into the system. So let's write that down. Home directory is the directory a user's home directory. A user's home directory is where their personal files are stored. Yep. It is also the directory a user will start at when logging in. Okay. I recommend doing all of your development work in your home directory. For example, I like to create a workspace directory in my home directory, and all my projects live in subdirectories there. Interesting. Home. Also a directory that a user starts in when logging in. Let's see where it starts me when I first boot it up. pwd home/grant. Yep. Okay. So let's see, make directory workspace. Okay. Your home directory is where you want to spend most of your time. Many of the other directories on your machine are critical to the operating system or other programs. Be careful when working in other directories like bin, etc., var, etc. You can mess up the system if you're not careful. The alias, what is this character? What do you call this character? What is the name of this symbol? Signs and symbols. Symbol names list. That's not what I want. That's SGPT. What is the name of the following symbol? A tilde. How do I say it?
Tilde.
Tilde. Okay, I said it right. Okay. The tilde alias. My home directory on Mac is located at users wagsling. The tilde character is an alias for your home directory. So when I want to go home, I don't have to type out cd users. Okay, interesting. The tilde symbol is an alias for your home directory. To move to your home directory, cd dot tilde. Okay, let's try it out. So we're gonna go in a couple directories. cd.contacts. So we're in the World Bank private contacts directory. We're gonna do cd/tilde. And now we are in the home directory. Nice. What does the file path tilde workspace names.csv refer to? a workspace file, a name CSV file, and a workspace directory in the root directory. Not root directory, it's the home directory. A name CSV file, name CSV file, and a workspace directory in the home directory. Nice. Grep. Ooh, I've used grep in R like a little bit, just a little bit. As it turns out, once you're used to it, searching for text and files on a CLI can be much faster than using a GUI. The grep command allows you to search for text and files. It has a ton of capability and will only be scratching the surface of its true power. Okay. So we're gonna do a grep command. The most basic usage of grep is to search for a string in a file. For example, if we wanted to search for the word hello in the file hello text, we could run grep hello hello text. Okay. To search for a string in a file, grep hello or grep sample string example file.txt. Yeah, this will print out every line in the hello text that contains the word hello. So it's case sensitive search, so it will not match hello or hello. Case sensitive. Prints out every line that contains the string. Applications often write their logs to files on disk. These logs can contain useful information about what the application is doing and can be used to debug problems. As a security auditor, you need to dig through these logs to find any evidence of suspicious activity. Use the grep command to find any lines with the text critical, all caps, in the World Bank private logs log file. Paste the output of your grep command into the field and submit. Okay. CD World Bank, CD private, CD logs. Okay, so what? It was grep text string hello in the 2024.01.10.log. Let's just see how. So nothing returns there. Now what happens when I do, excuse me, when I search for critical, like the assignment says. Critical. Boots is loose in the server room. Servers on fire. Please evacuate someone. rm/rfd, the root directory. Database files are corrupt. Now rm is removing the file, I believe. Yep. Tip. The tab key is your friend. If you start typing name of a file or directory and then press tab, your shell will try to autocomplete the name for you. If there are multiple possible completions, it will show you a list of them. I rarely type out full file names. I type the first few characters and then press tab. Okay, so let's do that. So I want to do grep critical 2024. There are multiple that show you a list of them. I rarely type out Interesting. Okay. Let's go back a directory. And let's go into transactions. And let's do 20. Or what was like a command that I want to practice? Maybe head? Head in file name.txt. Head in 20.cse. Ooh, I needed to say how many lines, don't I? Yep, okay. So we want to go back into the logs, and we want to say grep critical and I want to look for log. Okay. Nice. There we go. Grep multiple files. You can also search multiple files at once. For example, if you wanted to search for the word hello in hello text and hello text 2, we could run. Oh. Somebody's calling me. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. Okay. So I can search multiple files at once. Oh man, I'm feeling tired today. To search for a string in multiple files, grep example string, example file 1.txt, example file 2.txt. You can also search an entire directory, including all subdirectories. For example, if we wanted to search for the word hello in the current directory and all subdirectories, we could run grep/r hello. Interesting. The period is a special alias for the current directory. Interesting. What if I don't want to do the subdirectories? Can I just leave that off? Grep, or actually, let's see. CD. So what if I do grep, and I want to search for critical, period. Period is a directory. Yeah. cd format cd /r/critical /r invalid option. Oh, well, that's because I'm doing cd and not grep. And I need to spell critical right. Critical. Okay. Interesting. Maybe it has to be recursive. I'm sure. To search an entire directory, including its subdirectories, grep /r example string, period. I don't want that. The period is an alias for current directory. Assignment. Use the grep command to find all the lines with text critical in the entire World Bank private logs directory. Paste the output of your grep command in the input field and submit. I wonder if it'll look any different if I change. Excuse me, to the actual logs directory. So grep r critical, boom. I think that weird. Private slash logs directory. There we go. Okay. Nice. Find. The find command is a powerful tool for finding files and directories by name, not by their contents. Nice. Find a file by name. Let's say you're looking for a file named hello text somewhere in your home directory. You can use the find command to search for exactly that title. Find command to find a file by name. Find directory, example directory, file, example file, file name, or name hello.10, name hello.text, name file.text, example file.text. Okay, so let's find that. Find logs. Logs name 2024-01-10.log. Man, not sure what's no such file or directory. Can I find it in the current one? Okay, interesting. So maybe if I cd back, let's private. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Define command can also search files that match a pattern. For example, if you want to find all that in .text, you could run can also use find to search for files that match a pattern. For example, the following would find all .text files. Find example directory name .text. The blank is the wildcard symbol. Just like % works in Squeal or SQL. i.e. find example directory name data. Would find any files that contain data in their name. Chad. That's funny. You've been tipped off that fraudulent activity seems to happen often with joint accounts. Joint means accounts that have more than one owner. Use the find command to search the World Bank Public Products Directory for all files that contain the word joint in their name. Paste the output of your find. Okay. So we're just going to start from here. So I want to do find public/products that contain the word joint in their name. joint savings.txt, joint checking.txt, etc. Nice. Okay. Ooh. Man, I'm feeling very exhausted. Oh, man. Okay, I'm actually gonna step away for just half a second. All right, I'm back. Ooh. So let's learn about permissions. Unix-like systems support multiple users. Each user has their own home directory, files, and their own permissions. If you're like most people these days, you're the only user on your machine. True. It used to be more common for multiple people to share a single computer, or for multiple people to do their work on the same computer over a network. The sudo keyword lets you run a command as a super user. It's short for super user do. To use it, you'll need a password with super user privileges, which you should already have if you're the only user on your machine. Some people are pedantic and pronounce sudo as sudo. Others are correct. Others are correct and pronounce it sudo. That's funny. First run who am I command to see which user you're logged in as. To see which user you are logged in as. Who am I? Boom. Next, run the same command as root. Okay. Sudo who am I? Interesting. You'll be prompted for your password. Enter a copy, paste the output of the command into the input box, and submit your answer. Sudo keyword lets you run commands as a super user. Lets you run commands as a super user. You'll need a super user password to use In a Unix-like operating system, permissions control who can do what to which files and directories. The permissions of an individual file or directory are visually represented as a 10-character string. All right, let's watch the little video.
In a Unix-based operating system like macOS or Linux, all files and directories have a set of permissions associated with them. Now, there are two ways that we break down those permissions. The first is who has the permission. The second is what permission do they have. Now, in regard to the what, any user accessing a file or a directory may or may not have access to read it, write to it, or execute it. Now, all of those permissions, both the who and the what, are represented by a 10-character string. The first character is always either a D or a dash. If it's a D, all that means is this is a directory. If it's a dash, it just means this is a file. The next three characters, R, W, X, represent the three permissions that we talked about: read, write, and execute. And the who that they apply to is the owner of the file or directory. The owner is usually just the user that created it, but it can be changed manually. Now, this RWX section can have several different states. Each permission can either be granted, in which case the letter is present, or it can be a dash, in which case the permission is not granted. So, for example, RWX means that the owner can read, write, and execute, while R-X means that they can only read and execute, but not write. And R-, means that they can only read. Finally, this set of RWX permissions is just repeated twice more. The next set applies to the group instead of the owner, and the last set applies to everyone else. So to break down a full 10-character string, let's take the example of D RWX R-X R-. The D means that this is a directory. The RWX means that the owner can read, write, and execute. The R-X means the group can read and execute. And the R-, just means that everyone else can only read this directory.
Okay. That all made sense. Let's break down each character. The first one just tells you whether you're looking at a file. Next 9 characters are broken up into 3 sets of RWX: owner, group, and others. The owner is usually just the user who created the file, but it can be made by change. The next 3 characters are group permissions. Unix-like systems support groups of users. A file directory can be assigned to a single group. To be honest, unless you're a system admin, you won't often worry about groups. The last 3 characters are others permissions. This is everyone else. In my experience, when you're doing programming work on your own local machine, you mostly care about the owner permissions because that's usually you. Here are some cool examples. So that would be file, read, write, execute for user, group, everyone. Yep. This should be a file where the owner can read, write, execute. The group can read and execute, and others can read and execute. DWRX, a directory where the owner can read, write, execute. Everyone can read and execute. A directory where only the owner can do stuff. Okay. Okay. All files and directories have a 10-character string detailing their permissions. String is broken into 4 groups. Group. Example. group 1, the first character in the string, D or dash. D means directory, dash means file. Group 2, the owner group, the first set of the next three characters. RWX means read, write, execute. If there is a dash, that means the permission is denied. Group 3, the group. Group 4, the everyone group. The next three characters. The final three characters. So our example string means directory owner can read, write, execute group users can read and execute. Other users can read and execute. Nice. Understanding permission strings. Okay. Interesting. Whew. The Unix-like operating system permissions control who can do what to which files and directories. The permission of them. This is just the same one. Which permissions allow the owner to execute? Read, write. Yep. Changing permissions. The change command lets you change the permissions of a file or directory. It's short for change command. I wish it was called change permissions, but alas. To change the permissions of a file or directory, change mod. As part of your security audit, you need to know who has access to the files in the private directory. The ls command has an L option, lowercase l, that will print out the permissions of each file and directory in long format. Run this command inside the World Bank directory. To print out the permissions of each file and directory ls.l world bank private ls.l. Change the permissions of the private directory and all of its contents. So so that the owner can read, write, and execute, the group can do nothing, the others can do nothing. In the command above, U means user, aka owner. G means group, and O means others. The equal means set the permissions to the following, and the RWX means read, write, and execute. Set the G and O means set group and other permissions to nothing. The R means recursively, which means do this to all the contents of the directory as well. Okay. R makes it recursive. U equals G equals O equals is how you assign permissions to the owner, group, and others groups accordingly. So U equals execute G equals read, write, others, read, write, execute, others equals read, and then directory name, example. Remember, period is a special alias for current directory. Once you change the permissions, run the lsl command to make sure they've been updated. Paste the 10-character permission string of the updated private directory into the input field and submit your answer. Okay. So LSL, we have our contents. In the world private directory, so that the owner can read, write, and others can do nothing. Okay, so we're going to do change mod R read, write, execute. The group can do nothing, and others can do nothing. I'm going to do current directory. And then LSL. Money. That's awesome. Dope. Paste the 10 string character string permission of updated private directory. Troubleshooting. The world bank directory may not be within your just your WSL. We're editing. I mean, I know I have it right. I just don't. Hmm. I think this. I think this lesson is broken, as the lsl command also prints out my username, which should be different for every student. The following is from my trial. I am a Windows user for context. Okay, we're just gonna. The following checks run against the input text. Input text must exactly match one of. Trouble. Paste it in. Oh, of the updated private directory. I'm a Malouk. So the lesson is not broken. I updated the files and not the directory. Okay. There we go. Okay, I understand why that was happening like that. You're probably familiar with the idea of reading and writing files, but what about executing them? Executable files are just programs that you can run on your computer. Files with a .sh extension are shell scripts. They're just text files that contain shell commands. You can run a file in your shell by just typing its file path. Interesting, if the program is in the current directory, in this example, my directory, you need to prefix it with .program sh. To run shell scripts, example directory / example shell file.sh. If the .sh file is in the current directory, / example shell file.sh. As far as file paths go, .program.sh and program.sh are the same. The dot is an alias for current directory. We need the prefix when running executables, so the shell knows we're trying to run a file from a file path, not an installed command like ls and k directory. That makes sense. Change mod. Yeah, that makes sense. There seems to be a suspicious script in the World Bank private band directory called begin IDs.sh. It looks like it generates some type of identifier. First, let's remove our ability to run it just to see what happens. The change mod command has a convenient X flag that simply removes the executable permission from the file. To just remove the executable permission from a file. Change mod x example file.shell. World Bank. CD private. CD bin. Change mod x gen IDs.shell. Okay, let's see that the permission got changed. Yep. So dot slash gen IDs.shell. Permission denied. Yep. The error occurs because the executable permission is not set for your user. Let's re-add the executable permission for the owner. Or add or change mod plus x gen IDS.sh. Oh, it adds executable to everybody. Try running it. So dot gen IDS.sh. Once you've done that, paste the output script into the input field and submit your answer. You'll frequently download scripts from the internet to run on your machine, and often you'll need to make them executable before you can run them. I use changed.mod or +x quite often as it is. The internet is a shady place. Only run verified scripts from trusted publishers and authors. For sure, for sure. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna step away briefly again. Okay, I'm back for a little bit more before I go to the gym. Okay, root user. The root user is a super user. It has access to everything on the system and can do anything. When you use the sudo command, you're running as the root user as long as your system hasn't been configured differently. Make me a sandwich. What? Make it yourself. Sudo, make me a sandwich. Okay. However, it can also be dangerous because it gives you access to everything. If you run a command with sudo that you don't understand, you could do serious damage to your system. For example, rm with r and f flags run on the root directory / will delete all the files on your system. Ooh! Don't do that. The r flag is for recursive. Delete everything inside, and the f flag is for force. Most systems will prevent you from doing this. But if you run it with sudo, you just turn your computer into a very expensive paperweight. True. Should I use sudo? Sure, as long as you understand what the command you're running does. Just be careful. Which is a super user? Root. That's funny. Man, deleting all the files on your system, oof, that'd be rough. What happens if you run sudo rm /rs/? You'll lose your collection of dank memes and everything else will be fine. It's funny. So when do you need to use sudo? Change mod allows you to change the permissions of any file or directory that you own. But what if you don't own a file directory? That's where sudo is required. Let's change ownership of a directory to see how that works. The change own command allows you to change the owner of a file or directory, and it requires root privileges. To change ownership of a file or directory requires sudo / root permissions to execute. Command change own. /r new owner name directory name. Okay, let's go to world bank private contacts, sure. ls.l contacts is Grant is the owner. The group, and 496 has others, I'm assuming. I think that's what. Whoa. Okay, let's not do that. Let's just clear. Okay. Root contacts. Operation not permitted. Okay, sudo r root contacts. Okay. ls.l. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Nice. Nice. Use sudo command. Using sudo. Before you start this assignment, make sure the permissions on the world private contracts directory are DWRX, that the owner is root, and that you're not signed in as root. All those should be true. You can check with who am I? I'm Grant, not root. You told the senior staff about the contacts directory and its contents, and they decided to delete it entirely. Go ahead and try to delete it with the rm command. Okay, this shouldn't work. Descend into right. Yes. Permission denied. Let's look at the rm command again. Recursively. So I think I need to do rm/r contacts. Try again using sudo. So sudo rm/r contacts. Boom. Money. Nice. Okay. Man, this chapter is big. This one's not as big. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it for this episode and just take a short break before I go to the gym. Thanks so much for anybody who is watching. We'll pick up where we left off next time. I'm kind of thinking to finish the course is going to take 2 to 3 more episodes, a couple more hours probably, but I'm not exactly sure, so we'll see. Once I finish this course, I'll switch back to working on the second web scraper.py file. And that's kind of the plan for the next couple episodes. So for anybody who watched, thanks so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See ya.